Nick Swisher value contract, he's going to be about $7 million a year or so. And he is what you thought you were getting to me when you were signing Nick Swisher. What do you think about that signing, and do you like it? Or if they're able to do it, I should say.
Yeah, if they're able to do it. And that's maybe the first thing that strikes me is how odd this is that not only is it a rumor, but it's a rumor the Indians are more or less confirming. Not that it's done, but that it is a rumor. If you go to Indians.com or you have the app, like there's a story about it on the front page, which is odd. Very rarely do you ever see a team confirm or deny any type of rumor, but they seem to be embracing this, which is strange. So it leads me to believe either it really is a done deal and they're just trying to iron out the kinks in the final, finalize the deal, or that they know that it's never going to happen, but they just want to sort of take the credit for trying. So I don't know. I'm curious if that will play out, if that's going to be a factor in how this winds up, however this winds up. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It once again, they're going to try to get that piece, which they tried with Swisher, and it mixed results, I guess would be the most optimistic way. Yeah. Tried Mark Reynolds, and then that obviously did not work out. They tried it with, they keep trying to do this, and I guess you have to give them credit for it, because again, you're not going to, as much as why can't we just go get a 340 home run, 120 RBI guy? But, find me that guy and make it happen. So this is as good as you're going to get, and it certainly is something they need. I'm not going to do cartwheels about bringing in a guy who hit 234, I think is what he hit last year. But you're right, he did have more power numbers anyway than pretty much everybody else on the Indians. It's very similar to a Carlos Santana type of year, I think, is what we saw from him last year. And could we use that? Sure, absolutely. Where he goes or where he fits in the everyday lineup along with Swisher, I don't know. Maybe this is the deal to replace Swisher. We talked a few weeks ago about potentially Swisher going somewhere else. So it's difficult to imagine both of these guys being on the roster. So if this does come to fruition here in the next couple of days, then you wait for that other shoe to drop and Swisher be shipped elsewhere.
Absolutely, and I think that's the precursor to that. Either that or something involving Santana, perhaps to bring in a pitcher, because one of those guys will have to go, because there will now be just three guys playing the first base DH, occasional outfield carousel over there. So, too much. And I'm with you. He's like Santana without the walks, basically. He walks half as much, but still strikes out 150 times a season. But he does. Look at his numbers. I just go, that's very similar. Last year, that's very similar to the year that Nick Swisher had the year we signed him, the year after we signed him, like when coming in, that was the year he was coming off of. So, they're trying to fill that void. It'll be interesting. And what you said at the beginning of that is what I'm thinking. But Oakland is targeting, for some reason, we saw what they did. Jeff Gorman and I were talking about this Tuesday with Donaldson. They didn't even go after, like, the Indians. They could have got a better package than they got in that trade had they fished it out and found some different competing offers. But they pretty much targeted Lowry and the deal that they wanted, and they just went and got it. And that's kind of what this feels like to me, is we already have an idea what we want and what trade we want and the player or prospect that we want out of this. So maybe that Oakland is being very direct about these, but that's odd, because usually you try to drive up the market to get the best value, but they didn't do that with the Donaldson trade, and now it appears here that the Indians almost having a deal handed to them here by Oakland. Billy Beane, what's he doing?
Yeah, it's almost a Machiavellian Billy Beane Moneyball type of scenario that you're almost like, this is too good to be true, I'm not going to do it, type of thing. Like, I'm going to look like a donkey here in about a year because this just doesn't make any sense. But that's going to be the key, is what they want from the Indians and what the Indians are giving up. I'm certainly open to this possibility and don't really see a downside in taking a chance. But the flip side obviously is going to be what Oakland wants and what the Indians are willing to give up. So we'll see. We'll see if this does pan out and what the Indians do get in return, because they do have some depth to play with. And if there was one criticism they had last year, it was that they really didn't do anything. They did very little in the offseason to sort of address those glaring needs, and we saw it. It was, the things did not fall apart last year, but you could just tell that this is a festering problem, and they did not address, and now they're again trying to address it in this sort of bargain basement kind of way that they have to. So let's see how this pans out, but I'm open to it, certainly.
Yeah, the fit is perfect. They need middle infielders. The Indians have a bunch of young ones here lined up behind, perhaps the guys at the top of that. Of course, Lindor and Ramirez. But Wendo is the guy that I'm hearing attached to what Oakland wants here. And then you've got Gonzalez. They're good 3, 4, 5 deep in major league level potential prospects in that area. So yeah, it makes sense. We'll see. We'll talk about it. The winter meetings are coming up here, so I think we'll maybe have a few stones turning by the time you and I talk next week. And we'll see, are the Browns in a playoff chase still, or is the future here? I think we'll know that by the time you and I talk. You saw they sent the playoff tickets out this week. Everybody got there. I saw people on Facebook posting it like, it's been years since I've gotten one of these from the Browns. But, we'll see. We'll see if that was the curse of death or what. But we'll have a lot of things to talk about next week, my friend.
As always, it's a fun time of year. A lot of strands coming together in one time of year, which is always fun.
Man, that conversation ran. Thank you for sticking with us longer than I'm sure you intended, JK. It was a great time. Thank you so much, my man.
No problem. Looking forward to doing it again next week.
You got it. My man, JK. Extraordinaire, always a fantastic conversation. He's here exclusively every Friday right here on the Sports Fix. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, hour 2 of the Sports Fix is kicking off. My man, Jeff Gorman, Ryan Ruiz, they're both coming up here in hour 2. It's Browns preview time. Let's shift the gear to the football field. We'll look ahead, scouting report to the Colts. We'll look at the 3 dog bones to victory, your phone calls and more coming up. Don't go anywhere. It's a big football Friday on the Sports Fix as we start to focus on the Browns and the Colts coming up next here on The Fix.
I'll tell you what you're gonna do, brother. You're gonna listen to the Sports Fix, cause Yoda said so.
Hey guys, before we go to the break, I want to talk to you a little bit again about our good friends at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, some of the hottest fights in the world today. Each and every one of their huge events, Harry Buffalo is one of the few places in Northeast Ohio you can go there and watch each and every UFC fight at the Harry Buffalo. And let me tell you, I've been there. The people are out the door. They are to the rafters. It is one of the craziest environments for some UFC fights. Wing Mondays, they've got great deals on wings and drinks, and every day of the week there's a different special, a different deal. And don't forget the Bison Burger, the unbelievable. It is the combination of a fantastic burger and eating healthy combined into one unbelievable sandwich. You have got to get a Bison Burger while you're there. So whatever you're looking for, whatever day of the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sundays, there's something for you at the Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, just outside Great Northern Mall. Check them out today. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. Real time spent making real decisions, creating real victory.
I'm the greatest man in the world!
And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize. I mean, a really real prize. Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs.
The trophy's 12 feet high, and it is glorious!
Football, baseball, hoops, you name it, they have it. Plus, they have awesome draft kits and party supplies to make all your preseason activities the envy of everyone. If your league needs a ring, belt, or trophy, or you want to upgrade what you already have, there's literally only one place to go. If you're going to be a fantasy jock, do it right.
It's mine, the most magnificent belt ever created, and it's mine.
With America's Fantasy Sports Superstore, FantasyJocks.com.
What's your fantasy say?
Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Plagans, the voice of the Lake Erie Monsters, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix Live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. Man, shoot to thrill. That's what I expect both of these teams to do this weekend. I think we got a bit of a high-scoring game on our hands, but Browns defense been playing at a very high level themselves, so it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend. Getting ready to talk about it. Welcome back to the Sports Fix, guys. J-Rock with you here, hour 2 across the Sports Fix Radio Network. Pretty sure there may be an hour 3 looming on the horizon here, but it's a loaded show. Thanks to Jonathan Knight, Sportswriter extraordinaire, for joining us. Eddy, Jansen, already way back at the beginning of the show, talking some Cavaliers and their win in the Garden last night. Ryan Ruiz from Dog Pound Nation, he's coming up later on this hour with the 3 dog bones to a Browns victory. He'll give you the keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns side of things. But coming up next, Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com. He's here every Friday. He's got the scouting report of the Browns opponent. This week, of course, being Andrew Luck and that high-powered Colts offense. And nobody can appreciate that offense like a man who has Andrew Luck on his fantasy football team. So me being that person, yeah, I know how good that offense can be, my friends. And we're going to talk about that and all the weapons on both sides of the ball that the Colts bring here. It's a must-win game, very important game, really, for both teams here, because the Colts, they stumble down the stretch. They do have things to worry about themselves. They don't have anything locked up either. And that AFC, if you don't win your division, you're throwing it up to the luck of the gods, because there's going to be some double-digit teams that don't make the playoffs. And if the Colts don't watch out, they get caught from behind, they could end up on the outside looking in. So it's a must-win game. We're going to talk about it with Jeff Gorman coming up here next. Guys, keep the conversation rolling with us on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. And in the last week, we've noticed, we always have new listeners each week that let us know, but I've noticed an influx this week, a lot of different things with more promotion, different efforts, different campaigns. If you're a new listener to the show, guys, reach out to me. Let me know what you think about the show. Send me a message on Facebook, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with me at TheSportsFixCLE and say, hey man, you suck, or, the opposite if that's how you feel, whatever it is, or email me, TheSportsFix@AOL.com. Meanwhile, I'm going to go to the hotline. We're going to keep the show rolling here. My man Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com in the house. Jeff, how you doing this afternoon?
Well, J-Rock, I'm a very old man. I just turned 44 yesterday, but I had a really good birthday with my wife, my kid, my mom and dad, and as my telephone tells me every day, my LG telephone tells me, life is good.
My man, how you going to steal my thunder? I was all set after you said, I'm doing super. How are you? I was going to say, well, not as good as you because it was your birthday. Happy birthday and all of that stuff. But you just had to go, oh, hey, everybody, it's my birthday. So wish me a happy birthday. But that's cool. That's cool, Diva, LeBron. You want to do that? That's fine, man. It's all good. Happy birthday to you. And no, I'm kidding. But I did want to wish you a happy birthday. And I just realized something. You and Norm Connors have the same birthday, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have to.
Yes, you do.
Every year on December 4th, we exchange birthday greetings. It's amazing.
That's a inside thing. Most of you, 99% of you listening, have no idea who Storm and Norman Connors is, but it's a mutual acquaintance of ours in the wrestling business, and there you go. So, anyways, happy birthday, my friend. Did you do anything special?
Pretty much just hung out with the family yesterday and just had a nice, pretty much a low-key birthday. I got a Browns hat for my birthday.
Well, there you go. A Browns win for your birthday would probably go a long way, too. But, man, as you've been doing the work this week. I'm sure you know as well as anybody, and we're going to talk about it here, how difficult that's going to be. Really, as I said, must win for both of these teams, but that Colts primarily